Welcome back, everyone, to Senior Care Insights. We're your go-to spot for all things health and well-being when it comes to our amazing older adults. And today, we've got a real treat, a deep dive into a topic that's so simple, but so powerful, you might be surprised.
I'm excited to be here. It's always great to chat about these things that can sometimes fly under the radar. Those everyday habits that, when we pay attention to them, can make a world of difference, especially as we get older.
Exactly. And we're lucky enough to be joined by not one, but two seasoned health and wellness pros who've spent years working with seniors and really understanding what matters most.
We're ready to share some insights into those often overlooked aspects of hygiene that can have a huge impact on your health and vitality as you age.
So let's jump right in. And maybe a surprising place to start, let's talk about the tongue. You use it all the time, but how much thought do you really give to keeping it clean?
It's funny, right? Most of us are pretty good about brushing our teeth. That's drilled into us from a young age. But tongue cleaning? Not so much.
Kind of an afterthought, isn't it?
Totally. But experts like Dr. Emma Harris, she's a geriatric specialist with over 30 years of experience. She says tongue hygiene is just as crucial as brushing those pearly whites.
So it's not just about fresh breath then, although sure nobody's complaining about that.
Oh, fresh breath is definitely a bonus, but there's so much more to it. Think about it. Your tongue is like a little welcome mat for bacteria. Over 700 types. Can you believe that?
Wow, 700. That's a lot of tiny guests.
It is, and some are friendly, but others, not so much. They can wreak havoc, causing bad breath, tooth decay, all sorts of trouble.
So what makes the tongue such a bacterial hotspot?
Well, its surface is kind of rough, right? All those tiny bumps and grooves, they trap everything: bacteria, food particles, dead skin cells. It forms a layer called biofilm, which is basically a bacterial party if you don't clean it up regularly.
So like a microscopic buffet for all the wrong kind of bacteria.
Exactly. And Dr. Harris really emphasizes this, especially for older adults.
What's the specific concern for seniors?
As we age, our gums naturally get a bit thinner, more prone to little cuts or inflammation. And guess what? If there's all that bacteria hanging out on the tongue, it can sneak into the bloodstream through those tiny openings.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about the mouth anymore. It's potentially affecting the whole body.
That's the key takeaway here. Poor oral hygiene, including ignoring your tongue, has been linked to some pretty serious systemic conditions.
Like what?
Well, Harvard Health has highlighted a connection between poor oral hygiene and heart disease. The thinking is that plaque buildup in the mouth can contribute to clogging of the arteries. It's kind of scary when you think about
It
it.
really is. Makes me want to grab your toothbrush right now.
Right. And that's not all. There's also research suggesting links to respiratory infections and even complications for people with diabetes.
Wow. So taking care of your mouth, including your tongue, is like taking care of your whole self in a way.
Absolutely. And there's another important aspect we haven't touched on yet: your sense of taste.
Oh, that's a big one, especially for seniors who often find their taste buds aren't quite as sharp as they used to be.
Exactly. And guess what? That layer of bacteria on your tongue, it can actually mess with your taste buds. It's like they're getting suffocated under a blanket of bacteria, so you can't fully experience the flavors of your food.
No wonder food can seem bland if that's happening.
Right. But there's hope. We've heard amazing stories like Linda. She's 67, and she started regularly scraping her tongue. She was amazed by how much her sense of taste came back to life. It was like she could taste all those subtle nuances in her meals again.
That's fantastic. It's those little things that can make such a big difference to your quality of life.
Yeah.
And I think there's a link to the immune system too, right?
You got it. The NIH, they say that all that extra bacteria in your mouth, especially on your tongue, it puts a real strain on your immune system. Your body's constantly working overtime to fight it off. So a cleaner mouth means a less stressed immune system, which could mean more energy and even feeling more mentally sharp for some people.
So cleaning your tongue is good for your breath, your heart, your taste buds, your immune system. It's like a multivitamin for your whole body.
Ah, I love that analogy. And the best part is, it's so easy to do.
Tell us how, because I think most people are probably picturing a toothbrush and just, well, brushing their tongue, right?
You can definitely do that. Using the bristles on the back of your toothbrush works in a pinch. But for a really good clean, try a tongue scraper. They're designed specifically for this, and you can find them pretty much anywhere.
Okay, tongue scraper it is. And when's the best time to do it?
Dr. Harris recommends making it part of your morning routine before you eat breakfast.
And how do you actually do it? Just scrape away.
Well, gently, of course. Stick your tongue out and then use the scraper or your toothbrush to stroke from the back of your tongue towards the front. 3 or 4 gentle sweeps is all you need.
Don't need to go crazy scrubbing then.
No, think of it like wiping a foggy window.
Yep.
You just want to clear that film without being too rough. And always rinse with water afterwards to get rid of any debris.
Makes sense. Is there anything different about cleaning your tongue at night?
It's good to be a bit gentler at night. Your tongue might be a bit more sensitive after a day of eating and talking. Maybe keep it to a couple of minutes max.
Okay, noted. So we've talked about why it's important, how to do it, but what about the results? What are some of the real-life benefits you might actually feel?
Well, we already talked about improved taste, and that's a big one. Some people even feel more energetic overall because their immune system isn't working so hard. And of course, saying goodbye to bad breath can be a huge confidence booster.
It's those everyday things that can make you feel so much better.
Exactly. And remember that connection to heart health. Reducing overall bacteria in your mouth is a long-term investment in your well-being.
All great reasons to make tongue scraping a habit. But what about folks who are new to this? Any tips, especially if they have a sensitive gag reflex?
Absolutely. If the gag reflex is a concern, start slow. Just clean the middle part of your tongue at first. As you get used to the feeling, you can gradually go further back.
So ease into it.
Exactly. And if you notice any persistent soreness or unusual white patches that don't go away, it's always a good idea to check in with your doctor. Could be a sign of something like thrush or another issue that needs attention.
Good advice. So consistency is key here, right? Just like with most healthy habits.
You got it. It's the long game that matters. Regular tongue cleaning makes a real difference in reducing those harmful bacteria over time.
And why is this particularly relevant for those of us over 60?
Well, as we get older, our gums can get a bit more delicate, and our immune systems might not be as strong as they used to be. That makes us a bit more vulnerable to those nasty oral bacteria. So simple things like tongue cleaning become even more important for staying healthy.
It's like adding another layer of protection.
Precisely. It's a small effort for a potentially big payoff.
Love that. So bottom line, if our listeners take away one thing about tongue cleaning, it's...
Just start doing it today. It takes 2 minutes, tops, and the benefits for your overall health and well-being are huge.
Couldn't agree more. All right, moving on to another part of the body that's absolutely essential for staying active and independent. Our feet.
Our feet. They carry us through life, literally. But how often do we really stop and think about giving them the TLC they deserve?
Yeah, it's easy to just give them a quick scrub in the shower and call it a day.
I know, right? But imagine your feet are like the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak or neglected, the whole structure suffers.
Makes sense. So for seniors, healthy feet are crucial for staying mobile and independent.
Absolutely. And yet, you'd be surprised how many people don't prioritize foot care, which can lead to a whole bunch of problems.
Like what kinds of problems?
Oh, you name it. Infections, pain, difficulty walking. Our feet are complex structures with tons of bones, joints, muscles, all working together. When they're not happy, we're not happy.
So how does aging specifically affect our feet?
Well, for one thing, our circulation tends to slow down as we age. That means less blood flow to the feet, which can lead to swelling, that feeling of cold toes,
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that more as I've gotten older.
It's super common. And then there's the increased risk of infections, especially in those damp areas between the toes. Perfect breeding ground for fungi.
Oh, yuck. Not a pleasant thought.
Not at all. And for people with diabetes, it's even more critical to be vigilant. Even a small cut or sore can turn into a big problem if it gets infected.
That sounds serious. So what are some of the common foot problems that can crop up if we don't take good care of them?
Oh, all sorts. Calluses, those can get really painful and make it hard to walk comfortably. Ingrown toenails are another common one, and they can be quite nasty. And then there's athlete's foot, nail infections. Even just dry, cracked skin can become a gateway for bacteria.
Wow, sounds like our feet go through a lot. So just rinsing them off in the shower isn't enough.
It's a good start, but for really good foot hygiene, you want to be more intentional.
What do you mean?
Like, take a few minutes to actually wash your feet properly. Use a basin of warm water, not too hot. Hot water can dry out your skin. A mild soap and a soft washcloth. And really take your time to cleanse every nook and cranny.
Okay, so tops, soles, sides, the whole works.
Absolutely. And don't forget about those toenails. Get under there, make sure there's no gunk hiding.
Got it. Toenails clean, check. What about between the toes? That seems like a prime spot for trouble.
It is. That's where those pesky fungi love to hang out. So make sure you clean between each toe, really get in there. And then, here's the crucial part. Dry your feet completely, especially between the toes. Moisture is the enemy.
So no skipping the drying step. What kind of benefits can we expect if we make this a regular habit?
Oh, so many. Your feet will feel so much more comfortable, less odor, healthier looking skin, and it's not just about aesthetics. Good foot hygiene also helps with circulation, balance, all those things that keep us active and independent.
So it's like a domino effect. Taking care of your feet helps you take care of everything else.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Any practical tips for making this part of our daily routine?
Absolutely. Make it easy on yourself. Sit down comfortably while you wash your feet. And get in the habit of checking your feet daily for any cuts, blisters, redness, anything unusual. Catching things early can prevent bigger problems down the line.
Good advice. And when it comes to moisturizing, any tips there?
Moisturize those tops and soles, but avoid putting lotion between your toes. Remember, moisture is not our friend in that area.
Got it. Dry toes. And just like with the tongue, is foot care even more important as we age?
Absolutely. Circulation can decrease, skin gets thinner and more delicate. It's all part of the aging process. So those few extra minutes you spend washing and drying your feet can really make a difference in preventing problems and maintaining your mobility.
So the key takeaway here is
Wash your feet thoroughly every day and dry them completely, especially between those toes. Your feet will thank you for it.
great advice. Now let's move on to a part of the body that we usually associate with, well, sweat and deodorant, our armpits.
Oh,
But there's more to them than meets the eye, right?
you got it. We might think of them as just a source of odor, but armpits are actually a crucial part of our lymphatic system.
Really? I had no idea.
It's true. There are tons of lymph nodes in your armpits, and they're like little filters, cleaning up toxins and supporting your immune system. It's like a little detox center under your arms.
Wow. So just slap it on some deodorant isn't the whole story.
Nope. Over time, sweat, dead skin cells, all that residue from deodorants and antiperspirants, it can build up and cause problems.
And why is this a particular concern as we age?
Well, a few reasons. Our skin gets thinner and more sensitive as we get older, so it's easier to irritate. And sometimes the lymphatic system doesn't flow as efficiently as it used to, so that buildup on the skin doesn't help.
What kind of trouble can this buildup cause?
It can lead to all sorts of irritation, redness, bumps, soreness, you name it. And of course, there's the odor factor. Bacteria just love that warm, moist environment. And in some cases, it can even block pores and lead to infections.
Yikes. So it's about more than just smelling good. It's about keeping that area healthy. So how should we be cleaning our armpits?
The key is gentleness. When you're in the shower, use warm water and a mild, unscented soap. Harsh chemicals can really irritate the skin, especially as we get older. A soft washcloth is your best friend here. Use circular and up and down motions to gently cleanse the area and get rid of any buildup.
Okay, gentle and thorough.
Exactly. And don't forget to rinse well to remove all the soap residue. Then pat the area dry. Moisture is just asking for trouble.
So what are the benefits of giving our armpits this extra TLC?
Well, for starters, you'll probably notice less irritation and fewer rashes. And of course, keeping things clean helps reduce body odor, but it goes deeper than that. Supporting healthy skin in this area can also improve lymphatic flow, which is good for your overall well-being.
Any other tips for good armpit care?
Definitely. Always be gentle, no harsh scrubbing. Let your armpits air dry completely before applying deodorant. And if you shave, use a clean, sharp razor to prevent irritation and ingrown hairs. Oh, and keep an eye out for any unusual lumps, bumps, or changes in skin appearance. If anything seems off, get it checked out by your doctor.
Always good advice. And is this something that becomes even more important as we age?
Absolutely. Remember, our skin gets more delicate and our immune systems might not be as strong, so taking a little extra care in this area can make a big difference in our comfort and well-being.
So the main takeaway for armpit care is?
Be kind to your underarms. In the shower, take a little extra time to gently cleanse and dry them thoroughly. It's a small effort that can have a big impact on your skin and overall comfort.
All right, next up, let's talk about a part of our body that's working hard 24/7. Our nose. It's our gateway to the world, but how often do we think about keeping it clean?
That's a good question. Our noses are amazing filters, trapping all sorts of dust, pollen, and other stuff we don't want in our lungs. But that filtering can also lead to a buildup of mucus and debris, especially as we age.
Why do nasal issues seem to increase as we get older?
Well, a few reasons. The way our bodies produce and clear mucus can change over time. The delicate tissues inside the nose can get drier, leading to irritation and discomfort. And of course, environmental factors like dry air can play a role too.
So what happens if we ignore nasal hygiene?
Well, you've got the obvious stuff like increased congestion. That can make it hard to breathe, disrupt your sleep, even cause sinus pressure and headaches. But goes beyond that. When your nasal passages are clogged, it can affect your sense of smell and even your energy levels because you're not breathing as efficiently.
Wow, never thought about it that way. So what are some good ways to take care of our noses?
Lots of gentle options. A simple rinse with warm water can help clear out mucus. Saline nasal sprays are great for moisturizing and loosening congestion. Some people like using a neti pot for a more thorough rinse. And when you blow your nose, be gentle, one nostril at a time. And of course, wash your hands frequently to prevent introducing new germs.
Makes sense.
Oh,
Any other tips?
oh yeah. A warm shower or even just inhaling steam from a bowl of hot water can work wonders for congestion. And if you live in a dry climate, a humidifier, especially in your bedroom at night, can be a lifesaver.
Okay, those are great practical tips. So what kind of benefits can we expect from taking better care of our noses?
Well, breathing easier is a big one. That means better sleep, more energy. Reducing congestion can help with sinus pressure and headaches. And some people find they get fewer colds and allergies too. It's all about keeping those nasal passages clear and happy.
Sounds good to me. Any other advice for our listeners?
Yes. A gentle saline rinse in the morning can be a great way to start your day. And if you use a neti pot or nasal rinse, make sure you're using distilled or previously boiled water to avoid any contaminants. And of course, if you have persistent nosebleeds or thick, discolored mucus, get it checked out by your doctor. Could be a sign of something more serious.
Always good to be on the safe side. And is there anything specific about aging that makes nasal care even more important?
Well, as we get older, those nasal passages tend to get drier, and our immune systems aren't as strong. So taking those proactive steps to keep things clear and moisturized can help us stay healthy and comfortable.
So the key takeaway for nasal care is?
Incorporate a gentle saline nasal spray or a warm water rinse into your routine. Your nose will thank you for it.
Great advice. And last but not least, let's talk about a part of the body that might not even be on your hygiene radar, your belly button. It seems so small, but it can actually hide a lot, right?
You wouldn't believe it. That little indentation can be a magnet for lint, sweat, dead skin cells, all sorts of stuff. And all of those nooks and crannies create a perfect environment for bacteria to thrive.
So why is this something to pay attention to, especially as we age?
Well, our skin gets thinner and less elastic as we get older, so those folds in the belly button can become more pronounced, trapping more debris. And any decrease in immune function can make us more prone to irritation in that area.
So what kind of problems can crop up if we neglect our belly button hygiene?
Usually it's just minor stuff like itching or irritation, but sometimes that buildup can lead to an unpleasant odor, and if there's moisture trapped in there, it can increase the risk of infection.
Okay, so how should we be cleaning our belly buttons?
It's easier than you think. In the shower, just use a warm, soapy washcloth and gently clean inside. You can use your fingertip to swirl around and make sure you're getting everything. And then, most importantly, dry the area thoroughly.
Simple enough. Any other tips?
Yeah, you can use a cotton swab with a bit of mild soap for a more detailed clean, followed by a dry swab to remove any moisture. And it's a good idea to inspect your belly button every now and then for any redness, discharge, or anything that looks unusual.
So, just like with the rest of our body, a little attention goes a long way. What about moisturizing? Should we be putting lotion on our belly buttons?
Generally, it's best to avoid putting lotion directly inside the belly button. It can trap moisture and create a breeding ground for bacteria. Just moisturize the skin around it.
Okay, keep it dry. And are there any special considerations for people with belly button piercings?
Absolutely. If you have a piercing, follow a regular cleaning routine recommended by your piercer. They'll have the best advice on how to keep it clean and healthy.
Good to know. So all this belly button talk, is this something that becomes more important as we age?
It's not as critical as some of the other hygiene habits we've talked about, but as our skin changes, it's definitely worth paying a little extra attention to keep the belly button clean and dry to prevent irritation.
So, bottom line, what's the actionable takeaway for belly button care?
Add a quick belly button cleaning to your shower routine, followed by thorough drying. It takes seconds and can save you from some potential discomfort down the road.
Love it. So there you have it, folks. We've covered 5 often overlooked areas in our hygiene routine: the tongue, feet, armpits, nose, and belly button.
And as we've seen, paying attention to these small details can make a huge difference in your overall health, comfort, and well-being, especially as you age.
It's all about those small, consistent actions adding up to a big impact.
Exactly. Think about it: enjoying your food more, feeling steadier on your feet, having more energy, breathing easier, just feeling good in your own skin.
Yeah.
It's all within reach.
So empowering. It's a reminder that we have the power to take control of our health and well-being, starting with these simple, everyday habits.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. If you found this information helpful, we'd love for you to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family.
And be sure to leave a comment below, letting us know which tips resonated with you or any other hygiene habits you find important. We always love hearing from our viewers.
And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Care Insights and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. We've got lots more great content coming your way.
We're passionate about helping you live your best life, no matter your age.
That's what it's all about. Remember, taking care of yourself isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good, staying healthy, and enjoying life to the fullest. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into daily hygiene. We'll see you next time on Senior Care Insights.